Welcome to Fun Friday, Jay.
Welcome. Yeah, it's great. It's a big day we have. I love Fridays. It's always the vibe is different. The energy is a little bit higher. So we're really excited. Tell us who we have on the show today, Laurie.
Well, we have Michael Wooten and Marie Norris. Both are musicians and artists, and they have really interesting backgrounds and stories that they're going to share with us today. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, your host of the Today Show, and my illustrious leader and boss. I have to be on my best behavior because he's here.
Well, you know what? You do such a great job that I don't even how to show up. You're like, you got the show, you got the range, you got the control. So this is amazing. So I just want to update people on the Today Show before we introduce our guests.
Please.
It's going really well. We're gaining viewers every day. Got to give a big shout out to Your Home TV with Dominic and Sean and Dana down in the United States, as our shows now are in excess of 21K, maybe 22K per show just on their platform. So we have about 15 additional platforms, including Sirius XM, and we're good friends with iHeartRadio in the States, satellite TV, original television like Bell and Cogeco. So we're really excited. So we're really getting the word out. We're really showcasing awareness, employment opportunities, veterans, of course, and musicians. So this is, and many more things too. So I just wanted to sort of update people on that one.
Great. Look what I got in the mail this week.
I saw that. That is so cool. The Today Show. I love that. Oh, we got to be selling those. That's great.
We must. And there's other stuff we can sell too, but aren't they cool?
I like that. Send a picture, take a picture, send that to me as I'm going to promote it on our pages. That would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So why don't we bring in the guests? And like I said, I know you set up the template for today, so I'm going to sort of zip it and just jump in when I can.
All right. Well, all the way from Georgia, Mr. Michael Wooten, and right now sitting on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania, I believe. Marie Norris. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning. Doing good. Doing well.
Good. What about you, Marie?
I'm doing well.
Great.
I'm alive.
Great. You're alive. That's the main thing, right? Well, right. I think I'm gonna put us up close and personal because we decided that that's what we wanted to do, and maybe we can't with 4, but once Jay leaves, we can. All right. Well, good morning again, everyone, and welcome to the show. And today I'm gonna stop talking. Jay and I are gonna put duct tape on our lips, and we both like to talk, so we can, hijack things. So let's start with you, Michael, and I'd love to just start off by telling us what you're working on right now, what you're doing right now, and then we'll backtrack to, how you got there. All right, over to you, Michael.
Oh, how you doing? My name is Michael Mike Wooten, calling from Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to say one thing real quickly. I don't take this lightly, being on your show. I thank God for this opportunity. Because the fact is, I've been a severe stutterer up until the last couple of years. I would have never been on this program. So I don't take this lightly. So once again, I thank God for this opportunity, and it's on. Yeah. But what I'm working on a song called "Loving My Dreams." Right? Actually, it's out right now. It has over 300,000 hits and on TikTok. Wow, that's what I said also. So we're trying to push the song. It's a song about celebration. Let's say if you get married, you're loving your dream. Let's say you're going to a wedding, you're loving my dream, or even just hitting the home run, you're loving my dream. So we working on that right now.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. 300,000 hits. Good.
Yes. See, what I did was, okay, but they tell me to quiet down.
No, I'm in the library.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm in the library, so they told me to quiet down.
All right.
I'm in a booth, though. Right?
Yeah.
So what I did was whatever is trending, I did a slideshow of Taylor Swift, who's trending, her and her boyfriend. During that slideshow, I played my song "Living and Loving My Dream," which is what they doing. 30,000 hits, right? I did one of the girls basketball, the college basketball, another 20,000 hits. So what I do is I put my song to whatever's trending, on TikTok.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right. Over to you, Marie. What are you up to right now? You've got something coming up in the fall and you're in your truck. So let's hear from you.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to pick up my next load and go wherever I gotta go with it. Then I'll be probably taking a 34 and give me a little rest over the weekend once I pick up. Uh, but yeah, I guess I'm setting new feelers out, but I have a new single coming out in the fall. I don't know exactly when yet. It's going to be September or October. I haven't really decided yet. We haven't even thrown it around at all at the label to decide when it's going to come out. But it's called The End of the Road, and it is pretty much a song that is dedicated and pretty much motivated towards suicide and the prevention thereof, because that is one of the number one causes of death amongst truckers in the industry is
Wow.
suicide. It's almost as high as heart attacks and strokes and things like that out here in this industry. There's at least, I think they said, 2 drivers a day that commit suicide. And so I was asked it was brought to my attention to write a song like that. And I had been contemplating it for a while, but whenever someone else brought it to my attention and said, maybe this is the way we need to go for this, and would you write it for our driver crisis center? Because there is a website called Driver Crisis Center where you can reach out as a driver and, get someone to talk to. Just have a listening ear so that you don't do something like that,
Beautiful.
because I don't want to use the word selfish, but there is a definite amount of selfishness towards that, because you're taking yourself away not only from yourself, but you're taking yourself away from your family and everyone that loves you. So that is kind of an act of selfishness, even though you may see no light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm trying to bring a little bit of light and a little bit of hope, motivation, and showing them, hey, I'm even here. Call me. Send me an email. I'm a text or a call away. I've been there. I have been there daily. So
Okay. Well, thank you.
I have those stresses.
All right. Well, thank you for that. We'll come back to you on that as well. So the next question I'd like to ask is, when did you first realize that music was your passion? Michael?
Oh, you know what? Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
I knew at a very early age that I wanted to go into business. What happened was, when we lived in Washington, D.C., when I was born, my father was in the Korean conflict and my mother worked for the National Security Agency. And we moved out in the county outside of Washington, D.C. Now, right next to my bed was the encyclopedia. I'm not sure y'all remember the old World Book Encyclopedia? Right. What I used to do is I used to pick up encyclopedias every night and just started reading it. Now, mindful now, I love reading facts. Novels and fiction, I didn't like reading. I didn't know till years ago that my attention deficit disorder, I had attention deficit disorder, meaning that when I read something, I would daydream when I read, right? So I used to always read a lot of fact. I just pick a book up at random, and I pick up the letter M and open a page, and it said millionaire. I said, millionaire? What is a millionaire? And this is back in 1962. And what they said was a millionaire, you couldn't spend $1 million in a lifetime. You had to buy like 300 cars or 500 houses. And ever since then, I said, I want to be a millionaire, to feel what a millionaire like. So long story short, so I had to go on some type of business, right? So also when I was little, I always wanted to sing in the church, but my church was too small for me to sing in, right? So they never had a children's choir, but I always wanted to sing. So when I went to middle school, I played the trumpet for a while. Mindfully, I always wanted to go into business. So long story short, I moved to Atlanta and I had some dreams, goals, and aspirations when I moved to Atlanta, right? And one of them is to be a millionaire. Another one was to get a government job because in Washington, D.C., that's all you did was had a government job. So my cousin came down and he wanted to be a Barry Gordy. He wanted to be a Barry who started Motown. So because of my business administration, had a degree in business administration. So I had the business administration skill, but I didn't know anything about music. So every day he used to bring home a musician. Every day he used to bring home a musician. So that's how I got started into music, right? And then one of my singers told me, they was writing songs. One of my singers told me, I said, you know what, I'm gonna be a songwriter. And they said, you can't write no song. You can't be no write no. You can't write song. So it was a dare. So I started writing songs. However, I found out you got to study your craft. You got to study songwriting. So I took a class on songwriting at Clayton County Community College. Then I took a piano class also, and also a mega church. I attend a mega church, which has a children's choir. In fact, our church had their own two music studio. So that's one of the advantages of going to a mega church. Some advantage and disadvantage. To me, the advantage, to me, I equate mega church like living in a major city or going to a major college. So once again, I'm 71 years old. My story can go on and on and on. So I'm sort of cut it short because that's how I got started into music. I studied it. You want to know your craft so well where you can teach it, where you can teach other people.
I love that. Yes. You see, you can play a great game of golf, but you may not know how to teach someone how to play a
Right,
great game
right.
of golf.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can do that, that's an added level, an added layer to your skills, right? All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Michael. That's amazing. Over to you, Marie. How did you know and when did you start knowing that music was one of your passions, besides driving your truck, of course?
I knew from a very early age in life that music was my passion. I started singing before I could talk, my grandmother said, whenever I was little. I wasn't even very much out of diapers when I started singing in church. And my first song that I sang was Jesus Loves Me. So I have been singing since I was literally, I came out singing, I guess almost. I came out of the womb singing. And I guess it was meant to be because I just had the natural talent. I also had the natural talent for writing songs. I never, ever had an issue writing songs. I mean, like he was mentioning, getting trained in songwriting. I got trained by a very, very, very good songwriter when I first started songwriting. I happened to be blessed with having some co-writers that have taught me a lot about songwriting and industry. So I'm right outside Nashville. I live right outside Nashville. So when I'm at home, I can go to Nashville and I can hang with really great songwriters and I can pick their brains and I can learn from them the craft. And it's something that I just happen to be really naturally good at. Now I can write a song by myself. I mean, I don't need a co-writer.
Awesome.
But I learned from a guy named Jeff Pearson. He taught me to take notes and to build my song around the notes that I took. And also to come up with the chorus first and write the song around the chorus. Write the verses around the chorus. And that's what I've been doing. But yeah, music's my passion. I've known since I was a baby. I was supposed to be doing something music wise.
Awesome. You said that you came out singing and you came out of diapers and, you weren't even out of your diapers. My mom always told me that I was born with a briefcase in my hand because I've always been interested. I had my first business when I was 12. And so that whole thing around, and then what do? I become a school teacher, like, yuck. But I soon bailed out of that. So, Michael and Marie, the next question is I want you to just recall or take a minute and think about what has been the most exciting highlight for you so far in your career. A moment in time, a song that you did, a presentation you received, whatever. What has been the highlight to date, Michael?
Well, I was diagnosed with cancer, right? Lymphoma Hodgkin disease back in 1979. I was 38 years old. And then, okay, wait a minute. And then I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2013. Now, what got me through my cancer was music, dance music. What got me through my cancer was joy. Just being happy. I watched every situation comedy that came on TV. I don't care if it was the Little Rascals, the Three Stooges, I Love Lucy. I did everything to keep my joy because that chemotherapy is another whole story itself. And they had to remove my spleen also because they didn't know how far the cancer has come down. So also, I listened to the OJs. I Love Music by the OJs. That just kept me dancing and dancing and dancing. And I kept listening to Donna Summer songs, one of her songs, that kept me dancing, dancing. Now, in 2013, I was diagnosed with cancer again. So I did the exact same thing. I kept my joy, but only this time I was led by the Holy Spirit to write, I love music to We Love Jesus, right? And that just got me through right there. So long story short, that was a big highlight that got me through both songs. But I'm still working on a clearance for the song from I Love Music to We Love Jesus.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Marie? And then I'm going to pass the mic over to Jay because I'm sure he's got a couple of questions also. Over to you, Marie, the highlight of your life so far, in or out of the profession?
Well, I mean, I consider every day a highlight. But if I were to pick just one at the moment up to this point in my life, it would be getting to do what I love every day. I mean, I have grown to, I love the trucking industry. Don't get me wrong. It is not a horrible thing. I mean, it has put me through a lot. It has given me a lot. It has given me the opportunity to be able to chase the dream that I've always had since I was a wee baby. But I mean, I have kind of a similar story to Michael there. When I was a kid, I was hit by a car. I had brain trauma from being hit by a car whenever I was 7 years old. It happened on like Christmas Eve of 1980. And I was living in this little town called Coolidge, Georgia. I was born and raised in Georgia.
Okay, all right.
Little town called Coolidge, Georgia. And I was in the Christmas parade on the back of the fire truck, Santa, helping him throw out candy to the and the highway. And we had our parade every year around Christmas Eve. I don't remember a lot about it because I have a blackout. Really. But I was at the hospital and I watched my best friend die in the on the way to the hospital. And her name was Temple whenever I was a little kid. That was my very first experience with racism because she was black and I was white. They picked me up out of the road to save my life and left her there to die. So I've lived my life wondering why me? Why me? Why was I chosen to survive? I couldn't understand that. So now I feel that I have a very greater purpose in life. And I fight every day to be a better person because of the cards that I felt I was dealt somehow unfairly. And I try and help others. I try and be the person and I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional, but
That's
I try
okay.
to be the person that I want to see on the outside, that I want to see the change. I try and be the change and be first. So every day is a highlight for me. Every day is a highlight because I love, I try to love unconditionally. So,
Thank you.
and people think I'm wrong for that, but
No,
then they don't know who God is.
that's right.
So
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
you're
Yeah,
welcome.
very
I don't
much
usually do
appreciate it.
that, so I'm sorry because I don't normally get. I don't let myself get
You don't have to
all
apologize.
but
No,
it's
this
No
is
okay.
great.
apologies.
I'm human like you are.
This is great. This is
You love
great.
us crying. We're okay with it. That's what we do.
This is
Thank you.
great. This is great. I
Over
so
to you,
much
Jake.
appreciate. Yeah, no, I so much appreciate both Michael and Marie sharing their stories. This is what the channel's all about, right, guys? We're all about positivity. We're all about sharing our stories. We're all about helping others. So when other people are watching this show right now, I bet you there's other people because I know I see the site, I see the Facebook. People are thinking, wow, there's other people who have obstacles in their life that they've overcome, right? So this is great, guys. This is what it's all about. So I want to, because you guys are jugglers, right? You guys are musicians. You take your craft very seriously, but you also got a day job. Like Michael, he hasn't even mentioned this, but Michael's once a Marine, always a Marine. Like, oh my goodness, like a Marine on our show today. Like, that's, we could talk about that just itself, being a Marine, and for Marie being an 18-wheeler truck driver. Like, how many females? I don't know any females who drive an 18-wheeler. So for you guys to juggle the two and come on, and Michael overcoming his stutter and Marie overcoming that horrible, tragic incident early in her life, it's amazing. So what I want to do, because now you guys know each other a little bit, Michael, if you're not ready, I would like you to ask Marie a question, maybe about her trucking business or about her music or about her incident. And then Marie, same thing. I'd like you to ask Michael something about his career, his overcoming his struggles, being a Marine. So Michael, and it can be anything. It can be anything. So if you want to, I'll give the mic to you and you can ask Marie a question. That would be great.
And they could
Well,
ask us questions too.
Yeah.
well, Marie, I'm always fascinated about women who drive trucks. How did you get involved in the buying trucks? And did you have any experience you want to share with us? Any something that's funny, or maybe you saved somebody's life while you was driving? Or can you talk about your experience in driving, being a women truck drivers?
Well, out here in this industry, as with any other industry, it's harder for a woman to
Yeah.
accept it and to do the things that naturally a man will challenge us on certain things. Yes, I get flirted with on a constant basis, and when you're talking about the actual business side of the trucking, it is not that difficult to actually get into the industry because now, I mean, sad to say, they're allowing people that can't even read and write English to drive a truck. Because I see it all the time. I actually this is personal experience. I had a Swift truck. Swift, yes, Swift. You hear about them all the time being under trained. But I had a Swift truck that hit me in New Jersey, right outside Jersey City. I was in the correct lane making my right turn, and he was in the incorrect lane because he was in this lane and I was on the outside lane. He was in this lane, he came down the ramp, started making his right turn at the same time, and I was already almost done with my right turn. And he couldn't speak a word of English. He was cussing me out in some tongue I didn't understand. And the cop wouldn't even let me get out of the truck when I got there because he said he was hostile towards me. And because I was a female and he thought that accident was my fault, I wasn't the one that came barreling off of the ramp. I was already most of the way done with my turn, but I was a woman. And I just happened to be the one that he hit when he came off the ramp. And by the way, he got blamed for that because he was in the wrong lane. He made an improper turn out of the wrong lane. But, you know, he thought I was at fault because he didn't properly get trained because he didn't understand the language. And that's a barrier now that they're allowing anybody to come in. And as far as a funny story, I see all kinds of funny things on the road, especially after dark. Things come out that you can't see. I mean, seriously, mind bleeds would be a great thing if they ever invented it. To wipe it clean, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because I've seen some doozies out here, some dirty things, and some really like, oh my gosh, head scratcher things. Like, did I really just do that? I've seen some, and one in particular, one night, a good one is G-rated. One night, I had a team driver. It was when I first started driving. I teamed with them for about 2 months while I was waiting for my sister to get done training the last student to come out on the road with me. And we were going down the road one night. It was getting time for him and I to switch out as drivers. And I drove at night. And so he yells back in the back of me and says, Marie, I see a UFO. A UFO. A UFO coming down right in front of him. And obviously I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's wrong with him? He sees it. I said, you really need to stop. So just stop at the next place. Well, you know. He said, no, you got to come up here and see it. So I get up, go up to the front, and I look over to the left and I see a train with 3 big bright lights on it. I said, your UFO's a train. You really didn't need to stop because you're delirious. He thought that the train with 3 big bright lights in front of him was a UFO landing in the middle of the highway.
All right, Marie, do you have a question for Michael?
Hey, what I'm going to do, hold on. Before you have a question, I'm going to remove myself as I got to get ready for my next call. So I'm going to remove. You guys are in capable hands with Laurie. I really thank you guys for being on the show today. We will send you the links. Check out our Facebook page. It's blowing up. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Laurie, thank you for letting me pop in today. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, guys.
Okay, Jay.
Bye.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry. All right. So back to you, Marie. Do you have a question for Michael?
Well, what is
or me or whatever? We'll just ask each other questions. I love it.
All right. What's been your experience? I mean, you're saying you're 71 and you've been out here for a long time. So what has been your experiences in the industry, outside the industry? You know, how do you personally come up with the idea for your songs?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
Now, I don't wake up with a song. I sort of let the song come to me, meaning that I listen to different people's conversations, and in that conversation, it might be a title of a song. Like somewhere I heard somebody say, "You are that type of guy my mother has been warning me about." That's a song title. That's a song title. Right? So actually, I got that song out now. It's songs about It's a real heavy, deep song about sexual harassment. It's real heavy, right? And the name of the song is called No Means No. No Means No. So that's how I came with that song. No Means No. You got to check it out. It's by Chelsea Ray. Okay, so another way I came up with a song. I was sitting in church and the pastor said, what Jesus said is written in red. Ding, 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 ding. So usually I go to my wife, right? So we hear titles of songs all the time and we write them down for the last 20 years. I had like about 200 titles. Most of them I can't find right now. So now I can put it on, I can record the title of the song. And what you got to do next is you got to sing the title. You got to try to sing the title, right? So what Jesus said is written in red. Everything that he said, it's in red. Not in gold or pink. It is in red ink. With his blood that he said, it's in red. So, and I can just go on and on. I come up with titles. I try to give it a melody. See, you did two things. You got the title of the song and you got the chorus of the song. You have got to sing that title in such a way will be the chorus. So you did two of three things, right? You got the title, you got the chorus, and you just got to fill in the gap with an amazing story. Surprise! If they have a surprise in it, be even better. So that's how I go about writing a song. If you were to come to tell me to write a song, I'll have trouble with it. But if I can think of a title, it's just much easier for me to do. Come up with a title first.
I love that. I love that. So we're just going to take a little break, 30 seconds, because we want to be able to offer people the opportunity to advertise on our show, be featured on our show. And we do this little 30-second break so we give people an opportunity to see what all could you sing or say in 30 seconds. And people go, what? I've only got 30 seconds. I said, yeah, but you just watch. We're going to watch 30-second break and you'll see how much you could sing or say in 30 seconds. So here we go. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel, and we're having so much fun today on Fun Friday with our special guests, Michael Wooten and Marie Norris. And we've just been busy asking each other questions. And I'd just like to say, Marie and to Michael, those songs that you're writing and singing that provide healing for people. I am in the healing business, but not in the, I don't sing or write songs. I tried to sing one time and my sister said, don't give up your day job. I can talk up a storm, but anyway, the suicide one is very close to my heart. That's how I lost my first husband at 34. And also I do a lot of work in, the Indigenous community here in Canada, and it's an epidemic here. And so there's lots of people that I know who would really relate to that song, even though you designed it for truckers or those in the trucking business. I wasn't aware of that. And the same with you, Michael. Sexual harassment. I have a good friend, Dr. Debbie Love in Coachella Valley, California. She's 100 pounds dripping wet. I've had her on the show and she has her black belt in karate. And she's always saying, no means no.
Yeah.
And so when you said that, I thought, well, there's a nice connection. And she teaches young girls and women self-defense. So after a tragedy in her life that happened in Atlanta, Georgia. So there's all these amazing connections that we're making on the air. So do either of you have anything you want to ask me?
Yeah. So, what inspired you to become in the field that you're in? What was your inspiration behind that?
Well, I would have to say many years ago, I have two things going on. I broadcast a lot. I've been on the air for 25 years. I embraced virtual technology in 2002. And on my other business, I've developed over 1,000 workshops to support people with their healing, their recovery, their personal and professional development. I've been in business for 32 years. But how I got on the air, my sister said to me, you should be on the radio. And I went, I don't think so, kiddo. And this is my younger sister. And I said, what do you know? And she said, no, with a voice like that, you should be on the air. I said, anyway, I got a little gig, 3 minutes on a golf show. And those are back in the days when you had to drive into the studio, do your bit, and drive home. And I'd never played a game of golf in my life. So, but they want to be on there to inspire and empower the golfers, give them some positive energy and to rah. So that's how I got started in radio. And then my other business has been ongoing, and I'm still in business, and I work every day in my business.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Good.
yeah, thank you for asking.
Good story.
Yeah, you bet. But the healing part came, of course, that got triggered when my husband took his life. So that sat dormant for about 7 years, and then I realized I didn't want to be a psychologist. I didn't want to be a therapist, but I really wanted to educate people on, what leads up to those tragedies and what can we do to prevent that. Yeah.
Well, the song that I have out now, "Loving My Dream," that's also can be fit into healing. Let me give you a case. Let me give you a case in point. My cousin graduated from high school a couple of months ago. I imagine it was like about 500 people graduating, but it was like 5 people in wheelchairs who was confined to wheelchairs, right? And one of them wanted to walk across the stage. So what they did was they pulled the wheelchair up to the ramp, and she actually walked across the stage, and the camera had a close up on it, and we were just like, everybody was teary eyed and stuff. So what I'm saying is, she was actually living her dream right there. She was living her dream to walk across the stage like that. So a lot of people use the song "Loving My Dream" is because even though they're not 100% healed, but that's their dream. That was their dream for that minute, for that moment, for her to walk across that stage, and she did it.
That is so beautiful. Beautiful. Right on. Okay, well, Marie, time for you to talk. Is anything coming up for you right now that you want to ask or share based on our conversations that we're having?
Well, I'm hearing a fit right now, but suicide is something that's very close to my heart as well. It seems like we have a connection in that. I've lost so many people in my life to that. Not just close family, but I have lost friends that didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I never understood why. I mean, because technically, I've been there. I've been so stressed I almost couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I've had those times where I felt like, oh God, something's got to give, or I'm just not gonna be able to do it. And I keep every day. I keep motivating myself, even if I don't get the motivation from someone else, which I do have friends that care, and I have family that cares. Even if I don't get that motivation from someone else, somehow I wake up with a reason, a striving reason to continue to move and to continue to keep going and to keep trying to be as strong as I possibly can and to help others to feel the same way. Because if I can shine a light bright enough, maybe they'll see that light. Maybe they will see something through me where I can be able to help them in a manner. I mean, I keep to myself a lot. I don't really, um, associate with a lot of truck drivers and even my co-workers here at the company I work in. They feel that I don't reach out to them enough or whatever, but I try not to insert myself into something that's going to make my reputation look bad.
Right.
Because you never know. If someone else can rub off on you in a very negative way, and if you are in the public eye, you can't afford that kind of thing to happen to you. But I want to be available to help people in a way that I feel that not enough people help. And that's what the road is about. It's not, you mentioned that it was directed towards truck drivers. It is, but it's also universal. Whenever I wrote the song, I made sure that whenever I was putting it together, that it could be taken from anyone's standpoint. And it could be universal to the world because everyone in some form or fashion has dealt with that. And it's important to be uplifting, not down.
Yes, right.
I didn't want to make that a sad song. I wanted it to be uplifting. I wanted it to make your spirits feel high, to give you a reason to go like, I got this today.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a great story. Yeah. I like the way you pull your heart into it and your emotion in it. That's a great story. I have a lot of respect for truck drivers because they always on the road. They're always away from home. You got to stay alert. It's some crazy people out there driving,
Right.
So
I go every day too. And I do get road rage. It's hard not to.
Yeah.
But I go through that every day where people cut me off. They go by me and flick the bird for no reason. I mean, I didn't do anything to you. You did what you just did, but yet you just blame that on me, and you showed your personality by showing me a finger with 3 pointing back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'd like to ask a question to both of you on the music side of things. So we'll start with you, Michael. Do you play any instruments, or do you have a backup band, or what, or you're in a studio? How do you, what's been your experience around producing the music yourself? Do you play instruments?
Well, actually, after I come up with a song and a title, I hum the song. I hum it, right? And what I do is I put a drum beat to it. Boom, 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 boom. 4 times. Boom, 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 boom. And some cymbals. So with that, I can sing the song. Now, I did take a class for keyboard at Clayton County Community College, right? But like with everything, you got to practice. You have got to practice that keyboard. And I just didn't have the time to practice it. So what I do is, well, first of all, I had a studio in my house, right? This back in the 80s, where they had the big reel-to-reels and stuff like that. Man, my mama told me to write down every serial number and take a picture of it, right? Surprisingly, somebody broke in my house, went past the TV, the VCR, and took stole everything out of my house. And all my song was on my reel-to-reel, right? However, I did have the serial number and the make and model So I got reimbursed from the insurance, but they took all my songs with them because I didn't. There wasn't no download. Well, I could have downloaded, but it was on the reel, the reel. So what I do, and then that was they came out with digital,
Right.
right? Digital, right? And I didn't want to learn that. So I just hire other people now. I just hire the expert within your budget, right?
Right.
So once again, because I go to a mega church, we got everything in there. In fact, that's how I got started with the children ministry. I was the sound recording. I was the sound engineer for the children industry, for the children ministry, which is where I found my singers. And I've been with them for like 15, 20 years now.
Wow.
And so we go to the studio. But let me add this real quickly, right?
Sure.
This is some advice I want to give to some young people who's in the industry or any industry. First of all, you want to have fun at it. You just want to enjoy what you do. And to get a niche in it, you got to do some volunteering. Like I did for my church. I volunteered with the sound system. Once again, we had a mega church. We had everything. And in fact, the children ministry had their own church. We had sounds and lightings, and you just learn you learn that, right, by me volunteering. And also network. You got to network. You got to educate yourself. You got to, like in Atlanta, every convention come to Atlanta. Everybody come to Atlanta. So what you got to do is, back then you had boom box. You just take your boom box, go in the hotel with it, and just blast your boom box, hoping to get noticed. But what I'm saying, you got to act. You got to do something. Now I want to say one other thing that your parents told you not to do. Your parents. What your parents told you, they told you don't suck up, don't kiss up, don't do any of that. My wife said, man, okay, wait a minute. Man, what that is really is when you sucking up, you just showing an act of kindness. You just showing an act of kindness, right? You just planting a seed, really. Then you can overdo it. I love when people suck up to me. I love it. Not to say that everybody smiling in your face gonna be your friend. I'm not saying that, right? But long story short, a good example of this, right? About 10, 15 years ago, the Super Bowl games coming on, right? And my job was sponsoring it. Actually, it was my supervisor was sponsoring, right? So my wife asked him, what team are you pulling for the Super Bowl? Well, I'm a Falcon fan, and they weren't in the Super Bowl. So she said it was Dallas playing Pittsburgh. I told her I'm a root for whoever my supervisor is pulling for. Whoever he's pulling for. So I got there early enough, and I got a cheer where I positioned myself. So every time, he was a Dallas fan. So every time Dallas scored, I would just jump up. We'd jump up, just high five and slap each other. And you got to be clever enough where you bump him where he can spill popcorn on you. Where he get a part. Now, this was all planned, right? So the Dallas won, right? So the next day in the cafeteria, he haul out, hey, Mike Wooten, how about them Cowboys? I say, yes, sir. How about them Cowboys? And all my friend asked me, said, you know him? You know him? I said, yeah, we go way back. We go way back. So what I did was I planted a seed. He knows my supervisor. He knows my name. He knows.
That's right.
So there's nothing wrong with sucking up every Monday morning, going past his office and say, hey, boss, how about them Cowboys?
Right.
You just got to network. Once again, you can overdo it, though. You can overdo it.
Yeah, it has to be sincere. It has to be sincere.
Right. So plant a seed and show an act of kindness. Show act to everybody, but show an act of kindness.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great story. Potentially, our channel, the Disability Channel, we have we all, for the past 7 years, have had a media presence at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah. On not the big announcers, but there's a place called Media Way, and so
Yeah.
smaller channels can be there. And I've been invited to
What?
represent our channel at the Super Bowl in
Yes.
February in Louisiana. It's gonna be in
Yeah.
New Orleans this year.
Living and loving your dream.
Absolutely. No kidding. I'll be right up there with, some of the anchors that we've watched at the
Right,
sports
right, right.
years, right? I'll get to know them because I know how to do what you just did, Michael. So we're good. I know how to work the room, work the crowd.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Now, Marie, another thing, my
We got
cousin's
5
wife
minutes.
drove a truck all through the United States. She was a Canadian. But how she started was my cousin Gerald had a truck. He's passed now. And one night he had gotten a really bad case of the flu, and he was destined to, he was scheduled to leave with his truck. And he said, "I can't drive, honey. I'm too sick. You're going to have to drive." And she said, "Well, I don't know how to drive that thing." He said, "You get behind the wheel. I'll show you." She drove that truck on that particular route, that journey. And the next thing you know, she's buying her own truck. And she trucked herself by herself for years in the States. And all the family were like, "What's she doing? What's she doing?" But she was helping him out. So over to you, Marie, to kind of wrap things up. We've got about 5 minutes. So words of advice that you might give to some young people, like Michael did regarding, getting out there, and some advice you might give a young person who either A, wants to get in the trucking business, or B, wants to be a movie star, because that you look like a movie star.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think? Oh, thank you.
Yes, yes.
But I'm far from that right now. But hey, it's never too late. And I'm still striving, and I'm pushing. And I'm gonna make it someday. It's gonna be.
Absolutely, you are. Absolutely.
Because uh, your heart's got to be in the right place, though. And if I had one piece of advice to give to the young people today, when I was a kid, and I got to go with this way, the person that I looked up to the most whenever I was a kid was Barbara Mantell. And shockingly, I haven't even mentioned her in this whole broadcast, which is very odd because I talked about a lot of other things that involved her in my life, because I wouldn't still be alive if it weren't for her, because my childhood situation really wasn't all that positive either. I come up, and my mom had a traumatic brain injury as well as a youngster. She got hit in the head by her father when she was 16. She was in a coma for 6 months, and she never was the same. Obviously, they shouldn't let people like that procreate. They shouldn't let them have children because they can't take care of them properly. My grandmother took care of me, and I'm not even going to go into that whole
No,
thing.
no, that's okay. Just tell
But
us about Barbara.
but Barbara was the one that got me through the bad
Wow.
stuff of my childhood.
Wow.
I saw the lady as a champ, and the one thing that sticks out to me that she did in that show, she would sing this song called "Reach," and it was old Orleans song, and they had originated it, but it has a lot of a great message to it for young people and older people or whatever. But she would always say the message beforehand that talked about the young people and the audience and whatnot. And she would say, you can have a dream in life, and if you don't hurt anyone along the way, and you keep up with it, and you don't do anything dirty, basically, to other folks, you can have whatever you dream.
Wow.
Because you dream big. You can have anything you want. You don't have to put a limit on yourself. Limitations are non-existent. Anyone can do anything. You just have to have the positivity in your life, and you have to believe in yourself. And believing in yourself is, I know it's a hard thing to do sometimes when you don't have someone there for encouragement. But Barbara Mandel was my encouragement.
Yeah.
These little eyes, whenever I was a kid, saw her and I heard her. She
Yeah.
spoke loud and clear. It spoke volumes to me. So if I could ever say anything to a young child, it would be to keep dreaming, dream big, chase after it. You can have whatever you want. All you got to do is believe in yourself, and you can have the stars in the sky.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great story. Great story.
Great
Good
story.
story.
I think all three of us are there. And,
Right.
you know, that's what we
Definitely.
do is we show people how to get there and that the how-to, you know, how-to.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, you guys have been such a blessing and it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. And I'm trusting that you'll accept another invitation because
Yeah.
I can see you on some of our other shows. Like Michael, I'd love to have you on our vets show and talk about your Marine career. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
Marie, you know, Mondays we do our self-empowerment show and love to have you there. And I can see you all. All right. I can see you both being on all of our episodes 5 days a week. So thank you so very much. And I look forward to having you back. And we're going to close down. It's Friday. And we'll see everybody on Monday. The beautiful Virginia Clark and I are doing a show, The Difference Between Guilt and Shame.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a big difference. So bye for now and take care of yourselves.
Thank you for inviting us,
Have a great day,
Dr.
everybody.
Davis.
Okay.
You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.